Alright, this is a project I did 25 years ago. As you can see, it's framed in, got some doors up above. I store rough lumber want to use. There's a couple of storage areas up above. But what's interesting is what's inside this. Now, what I did 25 years ago, garage is nice and big. I'll give you the dimensions. I didn't step it out yet, but I'll let you know what the size is. But I first went ahead and I cut into the concrete slab in the garage 59 inches wide over and X amount of feet long. I'm going to make a sketch. So I have all the dimensions in there, but I cut that out with all I really used. I had a old 9-inch or so, 8.5-inch skill saw, and I got masonry cutting blades from Harbor Freight for that. And I'd go along, laid it all out, go along, and I'd maybe cut 1 inch down all the way around, and I'd go back and I'd cut 2 inches down all the way back, and 3 inches, and then as far as the blade would go down. I'm pretty sure I cut it dry. I don't think I cut it wet because I didn't want to worry about the water or whatever, and a lot of dust, and I wore a mask when I cut it. Fine. Next thing, after I cut the slab out and broke the slab out, I went ahead and I started digging. Now I had to dig this out. Down at the end, well, alright, let me show you what this. Now I store stuff on the side because I don't use the whole width like I used to once in a while. But the total width, inside finished width, is 48 inches. Alright, from the other side of the ramp, what I did was, I must have dug down. This measures 60 inches from here up to basically the garage floor. What it is, I must have dug down at this point into the block, because there was block wall all the way across. I must have dug down around 64 inches, somewhere around in there, deep. And what it is, I broke out the block down the bottom, and then I broke out all of this block that was in here, and that was dug out. Then the next thing I did was I probably framed up this side with drywall, with plywood, braced it off of this side, left I put a 5-inch wall on that side. And then once I had it framed up, I got the cement, ordered cement, and I had poured cement in there, let that set up. After a week, I went ahead and framed this side up with the plywood. Had braces going across, brought the cement truck in, only poured 4 inches on that side. Then I let that set up good, maybe a week or something after. Then I come in and I poured this. Now actually at this angle that I had, I was afraid it was all going to run into the basement, the cement, when we poured it. But the guy really helped me out with the truck and poured it in, and it held. It stayed, at that angle. And then all I realized, I took a broom to it and rough it all up. And that's the ramp. Now, I didn't want to go all the way down. I wanted to extend the angle. So what I ended up doing was, I put, I'll have to give you the dimension. I put a plywood ramp from the cement. I must have had a 2x4 at the top that I put there to hold back the cement and level it off there. Then I put this plywood ramp coming down to nothing. I didn't want to make that too steep, and this is the way 56 inches out. It extended so the ramp wasn't as steep. I put up a little wall along the side. Now, the one thing I did was, I'll show you upstairs. From that beam down to here was the steps to come into the house from up above. Now, the other advantage I wanted to do with this was I wanted to move the washer and dryer out of the basement upstairs. So I will show you what the washer and dryer looks like up in the room. I just wall it over, put a wood floor in there. So this basement's sealed. Now, the advantage I have with the seal, I used to do a lot of woodwork down here. I used to bring 4x8 sheets down here. I had a framework. And I was able to bring it down a ramp. On a project, it would be 20 sheets for what a 3/4 plywood. So that really helped. And down in the basement, I had my wood shop. And I even went so far to go ahead, and because of the dust, and I would spray lacquer down here, I went ahead, I cut into the block and I framed it out. And I got this, I don't know, it's a 30-inch exhaust fan that goes underneath my deck. So I can exhaust out my basement. Now, the one big advantage I have in my basement in this house, and the reason I bought it, was because of the size of the garage and everything. Over my house is hot water heat. That means I have over in an enclosed area over there, I have my hot water heater and a boiler. So what it is, I was able to seal off all the penetrations up above, so that when I'd be spraying down here and the dust wouldn't permeate upstairs and drive my wife nuts. All right, that's my ramp. I'll make some drawings. Like I say, I quit building these cabinets down here around 10 years ago, and I sort of just used this as a storage. But the Jeep that I had rebuilt, I brought it down here, and I needed a 4-foot, so I had to just move everything out of the way. Basically, I just used this as a little storage and some of the stuff. All right, let me show you what the upstairs looks like. All right, it seems a little cluttered, but this is where the steps used to go down. In my kitchen, it was right off the kitchen, parallel with the garage wall. Like I say, floored it in, went ahead, and I had to raise the dryer because underneath I needed that room, the headroom, to come down the ramp. So that's why the dryer's up high. Put a sink tub over in the corner. Here's the washing machine. You know, put cabinets up above for the wife, built cabinets. And so what it is everything's on the first floor. The wife doesn't have to go in the basement to do the wash. Everything's up here. It worked out real nice. All right, I'll put everything together in a package and post it.